31. Prisoner, tell me, who was it that bound you? It was my master, said the prisoner. I thought I could outdo everybody in the world in wealth and power, and I amassed in my own treasure house the money due to my king. When sleep overcome me, I lay upon the bed that was for my lord, and on waking up, I found I was a prisoner in my own treasure house. Prisoner, tell me, who was it that wrought this unbreakable chain? It was I, said the prisoner, who forged this chain very carefully. I thought my invincible power would hold the world captive, leaving me in the freedom undisturbed. Thus, night and day, I worked at the chain with huge fires and cruel hard strokes. When at last the work was done and the links were complete and unbreakable, I found that it held me in its grip. 32. By all means, they try to hold me secure, who love me in this world, but it is otherwise with thy love, which is greater than theirs, and thou keepest me free. Lest I forget them, they never venture to leave me alone, but day passes by after day, and thou art not seen. If I call not thee in my prayers, if I keep not thee in my heart, thy love for me still waits for my love. 33. When it was day, they came into my house and said, we shall only take the smallest room here. They said, we shall help you in the worship of your God and humbly accept only our own share of His grace. And then they took their seat in a corner and they sat quiet and meek. But in the darkness of night, I find they break into my sacred shrine, strong and turbulent, and snatch with unholy greed the offerings from God's altar. 34. Let only that little be left of me whereby I may name thee my all. Let only that little be left of my will whereby I may feel thee on every side and come to thee in everything and offer to thee my love every moment. Let only that little be left of me whereby I may never hide thee. Let only that little of my fetters be left whereby I am bound with thy will, and thy purpose is carried out in my life, and that is the fetter of thy love. 35. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, there the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the dear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. 36. This is my prayer to thee, my Lord. Strike at the root of penury in my heart. Give me the strength lightly to bear my joys and sorrows. Give me the strength to make my love fruitful in service. Give me the strength never to disown the poor or bend my knees before insolent might. Give me the strength to raise my mind high above daily trifles, and give me the strength to surrender my strength to thy will with love. 37. I thought that my voyage had come to its end at the last limit of my power, that the path before me was closed, that provisions were exhausted and the time come to take shelter in a silent obscurity. But I find that thy will knows no end in me, and when old words die out on the tongue, new melodies break forth from the heart, and where the old tracks are lost, new country is revealed with its wonders. 38. That I want thee, only thee, let my heart repeat without end. All desires that distract me day and night are false and empty to the core. As the night keeps hidden in its gloom the petition for light, even thus in the depth of my unconsciousness rings the cry, I want thee, only thee. As the storm still seeks its end in peace, when it strikes against peace with all its might, even thus my rebellion strikes against thy love, and still its cry is, I want thee, only thee. 39. Where the heart is hard and parched up, come upon me with a shower of mercy. When grace is lost from life, come with a burst of song. When tumultuous work raises its din on all sides, shuttering me out from beyond, come to me, my Lord of silence, with thy peace and rest. When my beggarly heart sits crouched, shut up in a corner, break upon the door, my King, and come with the ceremony of a king. When desire binds the mind with delusion and dust, O thou holy one, though wakeful, come with thy light and thy thunder. 40. The rain has held back for days and days, my God. In my arid heart, the horizon is fiercely naked, not the thinnest cover of a soft cloud, not the vaguest hint of a distant cool shower. Send thy angry storm, dark with death, if it is thy wish, and with lashes of lightning startle the sky from end to end. But call back, my Lord, call back this pervading silent heat, still and keen the cruel burning the heart with dire despair. Let the cloud of grace bend low from above like the tearful look of the mother on the day of the father's wrath.
Verses 41 to 50 of Gitanjali. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Runjhun Kejriwal. Gitanjali by Rabindranath Tagore. Translated by the original author. Verses 41 to 50. Verse 41. Where dost thou stand behind them all, my lover, hiding thyself in the shadows? They push thee and pass thee by on the dusky road, taking thee for naught. I wait here weary hours, spreading my offerings for thee, while passers-by come and take my flowers, one by one, and my basket is nearly empty. The morning time is past, and the noon. In the shade of evening my eyes are drowsy with sleep. Men going home glance at me and smile, and fill me with shame. I sit like a beggar maid, drawing my skirt over my face. And when they ask me, what is it I want, I drop my eyes and answer them not. Oh, how indeed could I tell them that for thee I wait, and that thou hast promised to come? How could I utter for shame that I keep for my dowry this poverty? Ah, I hug this pride in the secret of my heart. I sit on the grass and gaze upon the sky, and dream of the sudden splendor of thy coming. All the lights ablaze, golden pennons flying over thy car, and they at the roadside standing agape, when they see thee come down from thy seat to raise me from the dust, and set at thy side this ragged beggar girl, a tremble with shame and pride, like a creeper in the summer breeze. But time glides on, and still no sound of the wheels of thy chariot. Many a procession passes by, with noise and shout and glamour of glory. It is only thou who wouldst stand in the shadow, silent and behind them all, and only I who would wait and weep, and wear out my heart in vain longing. Verse 42. Early in the day it was whispered that we should sail in a boat, only thou and I, and never a soul in the world would know of this, our pilgrimage to no country and to no end. In that shoreless ocean, at thy silently listening smile, my songs would swell in melodies, free as waves, free from all bondage of words. Is the time not come yet? Are there works still to do? Lo, the evening has come down upon the shore, and in the fading light the sea-birds come flying to their nests. Who knows when the chains will be off, and the boat, like the last glimmer of sunset, vanish into the night. Verse 43. The day was when I did not keep myself in readiness for thee, and entering my hut unbidden, even as one of the common crowd, unknown to me, my king, thou didst press the signet of eternity upon many a fleeting moment of my life, and today, when by chance I light upon them and see thy signature, I find they have lain scattered in the dust, mixed with the memory of joys and sorrow, of my trivial days forgotten. Thou didst not turn in contempt from my childish play among dust, and the steps that I heard in my play-room are the same that are echoing from star to star. Verse 44. This is my delight, thus, to wait and watch at the wayside, where shadow chases light and the rain comes in the wake of the summer. Messengers with tidings from unknown skies greet me and speed along the road. My heart is glad within, and the breath of the passing breeze is sweet. From dawn till dusk I sit here before my door, and I know that of a sudden the happy moment will arrive when I shall see. In the meanwhile I smile and I sing all along. In the meanwhile the air is filling with the perfume of promise. Verse 45. Have you not heard his silent steps? He comes, comes, ever comes. Every moment and every age, every day and every night. He comes, comes, ever comes. Many a song have I sung in many a mood of mind, but all their notes have always proclaimed, He comes, comes, ever comes. In the fragrant days of sunny April, through the forest path, He comes, comes, ever comes. In the rainy gloom of July nights, on the thundering chariot of clouds, He comes, comes, ever comes. In sorrow after sorrow, it is His steps that press upon my heart, and it is the goal-distant time thou art ever coming nearer to meet me. Thy sun and stars can never keep thee hidden from me for aye. In many a morning and eve thy footsteps have been heard, and thy messengers have come within my heart and called me in secret. I know not only why today my life is all astir, and a feeling of tremulous joy is passing through my heart. It is as if the time were come to wind up my work, and I feel in the air a faint smell of thy sweet presence. Verse 47. The night is nearly spent waiting for him in vain. I fear lest in the morning he suddenly come to my door when I have fallen asleep, wearied out. Oh, friends, leave the way open to him. Forbid him not. If the sounds of his steps does not wake me, do not try to rouse me, I pray. I wish not to be called from my sleep by the clamorous choir of birds, by the riot of wind at the festival of morning light. Let me sleep undisturbed, even if my Lord comes of a sudden to my door. Ah, my sleep, precious sleep, which only waits for his touch to vanish. Ah, my closed eyes, that would open thy lids only to the light of his smile, when he stands before me like a dream, emerging from darkness of sleep. Let him appear before my sight as the first of all light and all forms, the first thrill of joy to my awakened soul. Let it come from his glance, and let my return to myself be immediate return to him. Verse 48. The morning sea of silence broke into ripples of bird songs, and the flowers were all merry by the roadside, and the wealth of gold was scattered through the rift of the clouds, while we busy went on our way and did no heed. Sang no glad songs nor played, we went not to the village for barter, we spoke not a word nor smiled, we lingered not on the way, we quickened our pace more and more as the time sped by. The sun rose to the mid-sky, and doves cooed in the shade. Withered leaves dart and whirled in hot air of noon. The shepherd boy drowsed and dreamed in the shadow of the banyan tree, and I laid myself down by the water, and stretched my tired limbs on the grass. My companions laughed at me in scorn. They held their heads high and hurried on. They never looked back nor rested. They vanished in the distant blue haze. They crossed many meadows and hills, and passed through strange faraway countries. All honour to you, heroic host of the interminable path. Mockery and reproach helped me to rise, but found no response in me. I gave myself up for lost, in the depth of a glad humiliation, in the shadow of a dim delight. The response of the sun-embroidered green gloom slowly spread over my heart. I forgot for what I had travelled, and I surrendered my mind without struggle to the maze of shadows and songs. At last, when I woke from my slumber and opened my eyes, I saw thee standing by me, flooding my sleep with thy smile. How I had feared that the path was long and wearisome, and the struggle to reach thee was hard. Verse 49. You came down from your throne and stood at my cottage door. I was singing all alone in a corner, and the melody caught your ear. You came down and stood at my cottage door. Masters are many in your hall, and songs are sung there at all hours, but the simple carol, this novice, struck at your love, one plaintive little strain, mingled with the great music of the world, and with a flower for a prize, you came down and stopped at my cottage door. Verse 50. I had gone a-begging from door to door in the village path, when thy golden chariot appeared in the distance like a gorgeous dream, and I wondered, who was this king of all kings? My hopes rose high, and methought my evil days were at an end. And I stood waiting for alms to be given unasked, and for wealth scattered on all sides in the dust. The chariot stopped where I stood. Thy glance fell on me, and thou camest down with a smile. I felt that the luck of my life had come at last. Then of a sudden thou didst hold out thy right hand and say, What hast thou to give to me? Ah, what a kingly jest was it, to open thy palm to a beggar to beg. I was confused and stood undecided, and then from my wallet I slowly took out the least little grain of corn and gave it to thee. But how great my surprise when at the day's end I emptied my bag on the floor to find a least little gram of gold upon the poor heap. I bitterly wept and wished that I had the heart to give thee my all. End of verse 41 to 50. Recording by Runjun, Bangalore.